Hey, variants on the Foundry. It's me, Crazy Monkey, also known as Tony. And today we are reviewing episode 3 of Loki, and I'm joined by.
Sort of timeline where you do a good intro. God damn. What's up, everybody?
What's up? Hey
Hello?
guys.
I had
Is
a
there a
giggle
variant
out
where
of
you aren't a dick?
that? I don't think so. Hey, what's going on? Welcome to Loki, everybody. Yeah, back for another review, doing episode 3. Salai, what's this episode called?
Lamentus.
Lamenteth, baby. Yeah, so
Ooh.
yeah, we're back with this amazing show, and I was talking up the last episode quite a bit. Man, I even like this one even more than the last one. If that was possible. Last episode it was revealed that the variant was actually introduced as a girl. We're like, whoa, is a girl version of Loki, and I got really upset because I was like, oh man, hopefully they're not gonna shoehorn some stupid romantic interest kind of thing like that, And yeah, stop. I don't know. Does anyone else get like a little uncomfortable at the thought like of Loki trying to make himself?
Masturbating. Yeah. But
I mean,
I let it
everyone's gotta
slide
love
because
themselves.
he's the equivalent of, he's got a mischief. So the idea of him being a narcissist and like in love with himself, I'm cool with it.
I don't. It still makes me. I don't know. It almost feels like they're the same person. I kind of get sibling vibes, and it's like incesty to me. Still, I don't know why. It just
Fair.
is to me.
A lot of people
Uh,
felt that way. It's totally understandable.
Yeah. Not you sick freak. Anyways. um,
Yeah.
and we step Loki.
What are you doing, Step Loki? You're gonna get pruned.
You're
How
gonna
did you
get
get stuck
charmed.
in that timeline? I don't know.
That's funny.
That's terrible. Um, yeah. So we start out the episode. It's Loki on the hot on Loki's tail, and they're chasing. And turns out that she warped to the TVA headquarters, and she's beating the fuck out of people. And Loki grabs his knives. He's like, "Hey, bitch, what are you doing?" And then they get teleported into a different, to a basement, which is
I think you
interesting.
jumped ahead.
Of what?
You
The
just skip
intro.
one scene at the very beginning where we see female Loki hanging out with that the one TVA agent that was captured.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
you're totally
yeah.
right. That
Yeah.
totally forgot
They're
about the
like
intro.
hanging out, having drinks, and you're like, what the hell is going on? And then I don't think they really explain much. But they just kind of
Not
leave
yet.
that there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then that's where what you were just describing happens.
yep. And then they get teleported solo, just the two of them, to to just a random basement, and they're arguing and fighting, and she tries to beam him away or whatever, using the little time resetty charge thing. I don't really know what it is. A doohickey. Do we have a name for this thing?
Time bomb.
Time pad or some shit like
Time
that.
pad.
Time
yeah,
pad.
It's a
Let's
time
call it
bomb.
time
No,
pad.
Tempad, yeah.
Time pad. There it is.
Time pad.
God
Yes.
damn it. All right, yeah, little Tim pad thing, and they're like, "Ah, it's broken. It needs battery." And she's like, "You have a battery on you?" And he's like, "I don't know. Let's find a battery together." And they hold hands and they start running around, and that's the whole fucking episode
What's a battery?
The whole episode.
right there.
But we love it.
Yeah, it was good
yeah.
though. I
It
sound
was
like
a 9 out of 10, guys.
yeah,
You kept
that's
this one
the
real short.
review. That's the
I do love the
review.
fight choreography
With good music.
with her in the hallway when she's making her way downtown with Loki. She's whooping ass, man.
She's making her way downtown.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah.
Game fast.
And they realize that it's actually an apocalypse, another one, another apocalypse level disaster, some city kind of shit going on. The sky is falling. It's like a moon is like dropping on them. And of course she's like, oh, of course it's this planet. It's dropping whatever. You idiot. Why'd you beam us here? And he's like, lol, my bad. Silly mischief things, masturbating, with myself.
Lol.
Yeah. That's just kind of the vibe,
Yeah, so basically the whole episode is spent like we're on this apocalyptic planet where it's about to get destroyed. How do we get off of it? So, the kind of shenanigans of like going from place to place trying to figure out how they're going to deal with this. They seem awfully calm,
Mm-hmm.
which is funny because they're just like, there's just meteors dropping literally next to them and they're just like, "Oh, we're just walking around." They come up to a building with like they go to a town, there's like nothing in it. Then they go up to a building and it's like there's like an old lady in there, I think. And they try to like get information
Yeah,
from
she
her.
tries to kick down the door and she gets blasted. And then
Yeah.
he's like, "Oh, let me try," and he like transform into like her old
Her
husband or
husband.
something.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh,
He
it's
gets
been so
blasted.
long," and she's like, "Yeah, my husband has been nice to me in 30 years. I know it's not him." I was like, "That's kind of funny."
She's like, I miss you, baby. She's like,
I miss you, baby. It's me, the Joker.
Yeah.
And he gets
It's me,
blasted.
your husband.
Loki
Um,
YZO. That's the awesome variant.
Yeah. And then he gets blasted, and they're like, "Oh, better
Oh
go on our
my
merry
God.
way."
Yeah.
And
Then they're like, I guess we got to get on the train
oh yeah, they're
or
like,
whatever.
this
They
planet
find
was
out about
actually
that.
it was like quite barren. Like it was pretty abandoned. They went through like a Mandalorian ghost town. You know, it's kind of
It
funny.
reminds me
Yeah.
of like Red Faction.
Yeah, it's very Mad Max esque, Fury Road to me, too.
Yeah.
Place was
Yeah.
just abandoned. Yeah, it was like I guess you could call it a colony, maybe. You know,
Yeah. It
not
was kind
super
of already
civilized.
apocalyptic looking
For sure.
before. So.
Yeah, and I guess there was like an evac train to a station, which is weird. And
yeah,
then
but it
there,
was for like the richer people, so they have to like sneak on.
yeah.
right? I think Loki puts on a little guard outfit, pretends that he's.
This is where I was gonna get
taking someone
fucking
on.
pissed, man. This fucking, they're like, you see all these guards, and you know it's the fucking future because they've got a nice, like, sleek suit on, like a one-piece suit with a giant fucking helmet, like some Spaceballs bullshit, dude. It's fucking dumb.
Spaceballs?
Yeah, it looks like fucking Spaceballs. That's what it is, you know?
Pretty
fucking-
good.
It's ridiculous, man. Like, what the fuck happened to style? Like, the TVA, no fucking style. They're wearing, like, blazers from the fucking 60s and shit, you know? Like, goddamn. And what do the SWAT people have? They just look like fucking SWAT dudes with sticks. It's like, it's the future. I'm like, it's the future, it's the past, it's the present. You know, you got a lot to choose from, and they choose the most ugly options. So annoying, dude. So fucking annoying. So ugly. It's like these guards are ugly. Like, I wouldn't put that shit on. I would get a different fucking job, dude. I'd ask for casual Fridays as well. Also, through this episode, there's a giant apocalypse going on, and all these guards keep their cool so well. Like,
Yeah,
they're like,
like it was
they're like,
expected or
hey,
something.
poor person, we're dying on this planet together. And it's like, don't you want to board the shuttle too and leave? It's like, no, I have to die here too. It's my duty. It's like, what? Like, why are you so loyal to whatever this is? What
I'm
if,
poor as well. Did you not just fucking hear me?
that's for rich people only. I don't like towards the end, like when they're rushing towards this shuttle and they're like grabbing like Loki and it's like, oh, you can't get on that shuffle. And it's like, just think it's like, bro, get on the shuffle too. Like, get the fuck out of there. You're gonna die. Like, why are you so like persistent on not letting people like escape? Don't you want to
Yeah.
leave too? Like, it
Yeah.
doesn't make any fucking sense. It's kind of fucking stupid where I'm like, just leave too. I mean, everything's falling apart. Like, what is it? The fucking Lumeris like police unit like force or something? It's just kind of made me question it a bit. And you're like, everyone's get on the train. It's like only the rich soldiers get on the train. It's like the fucking
Well,
Dark
they probably
Knight.
thought they had more time.
Probably like
Well,
the Dark Knight where they're like, all right,
knows?
guy, corporals, make sure to shoot the privates in the fucking head. They tell the sergeants to shoot the corporals in the fucking head.
Oh yeah,
And
everyone
towards
kill
the
each other.
I don't know, man. Just fucking dumb. Until like that, the whole ranking with the police and shit was kind of dumb. Anyways, they get on the train and they're like, "All right, we need to fill up some time." So they start like Loki, a nice intimate moment with his mama and stuff. They talking about magic, and I really like what.
No, you said I thought you were referring to his variant for a second. I was like, what?
Where's mama?
You're making a mommy sorry joke right now.
No, I'm 25 years old, Ken. Come on, man.
Yeah, sorry. No, continue.
Kid, someone else talking a lot. God damn.
Okay, yeah. So they get
Well,
on
you
the
sound
train.
like you're liking the episode.
Hey,
Fuck, I'm
you-
just
you-
listening.
I gotta
You're
get
on a roll.
entertained, man. Gotta
You're
get entertained.
rolling.
I love this.
Yeah,
episode.
you had a lot to say, but they get on the
Shut
train.
fuck up then.
And they finally like settle in for a bit, and again they're very calm for this whole apocalypse thing.
It's like
But they-
Snowpiercer. Everyone's pretty chill. They're like, nah, I'm drinking a
Yeah,
martini.
extremely calm for some reason. But they have a chance to like chat and talk a little bit, learn about each other a little bit, that kind of thing. And then I think she nods off, she falls asleep, and then when she wakes up, Loki's like intoxicated, having a great time singing songs. And then he's very
not
drunk.
being not to make this joke again, but he was supposed to be being low key, and
Yeah,
he
he
was
was
not at all. No.
Nope. Nope. And then he tries to. Then he does a weird thing with like, what does he say? Like love is a dagger or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
was kind of weird.
He gets hammered and he's all in his feelings. Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
singing like fucking like Asgardian tunes.
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
was
The
kinda
song
cool.
he's singing has a really important meaning.
In what way?
What's that?
He's singing in Norwegian, so he's singing like the actual, language of, the Nordics who worshipped the Norse gods like him.
Yeah, interesting.
And essentially he's talking about a woman waiting in an apple orchard, and like most of the music of the region, it's very sad but uplifting. And she's like waiting, this fair maiden is waiting for him to come home, and the idea is that he's never gonna come home. So
Interesting. I didn't know that.
yeah.
You'll learn something new. Yeah.
Where
So
we-
then,
yeah, so yeah,
a
some
fight
other
breaks out because the Pope,
some
the
guards saw them.
police-
They're like, "Hey, man, like, give us your ticket," and they did some Polar Express shit. And he's like, "Oh, I don't have a ticket." And then,
and then they throw him out the window.
Yeah, and there's a hot
Yeah.
chocolate musical number.
well, first they threw someone else out the window. I'm like, great, they just fucking murdered another person. I don't like how just like I guess I don't dislike it, but it's just kind of crazy how casually they fucking murder in this show. And to say curse words, I enjoy that.
That is true. That is true. Yeah. So they somehow survive that very easily, being thrown out, and she jumps out after him.
Yeah, because she was
And
like, "Oh, I need
then-
the temp pad."
Yeah, but then it's busted, and then they're like, "Well, now what do we do?" And then they just start walking again. They start walking towards the town, or
Held
no,
hands.
they have a little conversation before that. And then they're like, "All right, let's keep going."
Yeah,
Let's-
she did a little
try to
thing where
survive.
she actually showed off some powers that Loki does not have. Like
Yeah.
she like did some banshee yelling like Black Bolt. Kind of cool.
Oh, true. Yeah.
I liked that. That and then her enchanting powers.
It's interesting.
Yeah, variants have variations of powers.
Yeah.
Woohoo! Crazy.
When you put it like that, Tony.
Am I
Um,
starting
feel
to
like,
sound like one?
In her case, the magic she learned, because she talks about her brief childhood, when her and other Loki are sitting down, and she mentions how she never really, had Frigga and Odin around to raise her.
Yep. She
Right.
doesn't have any memory of her mother and stuff. She
Exactly.
said that, and that
Yes.
and so he, what him thinking about it, kind of, I don't know if he was pondering whether like, hey, maybe I kind of did have it good considering I did have parents there when she didn't, even though like he looks back at his life and his childhood, I'm sure, and doesn't. It's not the fondest memories for him, but at least there are memories of it for him.
Yeah.
And then they decide like, hey, let's actually go out, and they're like, let's go take off in the giant evac ship or whatever, and they just decide to go do that. Even though the temp pad is broken, they're like, we can still escape from the moon though, and which is pretty cool. Didn't on the way there, didn't they talk a little bit about her how she learned the magic, or was that at some other point?
I can't remember if that was during that, but
I
they
thought there was
definitely
some
had more
downtime.
like intimate conversations during the rest of that walk towards the city or whatever.
Yeah, because he was like, oh, at some point, like, yeah, he was like, oh, I need to be able to trust you. Like, can you relate or
Oh,
have a
yeah.
conversation or like give up some information with me or something? And she did, and you're like, you feel a bit closer. And I actually really enjoy these two characters and their chemistry. It's pretty good. Like I said,
They do pretty good chemistry.
yeah, I like it a lot. He's very annoying and persistent, and she's like, I'm only forced to work with you so I can survive. She's kind of got this opportunist kind of mindset, even though, like, she can tell like, he's getting under her skin. She
I
likes him a
can't
little
remember
bit.
for the life of me. What is her name?
Sylvia? Or
Sylvie.
Sylvie.
Thank you.
Yeah, because throughout the
Sylvie
episode, Loki's like, keeps calling her Loki, and she's like, don't call me that. Like, I'm not a
Yeah,
Loki.
she's getting pissy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then
she's really
she,
prideful, just like him.
she mentions that like the TVA, they're the oppressors, they're tyrants. They even the person that from that she took hostage, like she took the hostage, that person that she mind fucked from the last episode. She's like, oh, I had to go back hundreds of years to find a memory of her being on Earth, and that really confused Loki because he was told that all the TVA agents were born specifically and were made for the task of keeping the time sacred and everything like that. And she revealed, said, no, they're all variants like us. So
Right.
they're kind of using prisoners to guard the prison, you know?
So like call back to last episode, and I was like, what decides what role you get in the TVA? So what decides what variants are picked? You get what I'm saying? To live or to either work.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that's a very good question because it seemed like they really it was just death. That's what it seemed like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then they
It's
say,
ending, yeah.
and then this changes it. So like, I mean, like obviously they picked Loki, but like, does it take who vouched for the second guy? You know, like who was vouching until they're like, okay, well but this one's fine.
And Sly, you brought this up before about being able to trust the narrative of the TVA, like Mobius,
Yeah.
and what does
Yeah.
he know? Like how far does it go up? You know, do the lies go up? So that
That's true.
maybe put some like plants a little device, a little bomb in your head for later. You know, some
Like, are
poison.
jet skis real?
I get this idea that it's like a repressed memory in the case of like Mobius and his like jet skis. Like
Yeah.
he's obsessed with jet skis and like that's his happy ending, you know. And what if like a long time ago he was just some dude on like, you know, on the lake just going in circles on his jet ski.
That's actually that's a very interesting thought. I like that a lot.
Yeah,
Like almost like they retain the same personality of their variant.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which seems likely, you know. But yeah, that was an interesting thought there. Then we had like a big like scene like in this neon city, like next to this giant like ship. It's kind of hard to make
It was
out what was
very
actually
confusing.
going
It seemed
on.
like they circled around a lot.
I
Like
didn't know
they went
what
one way,
the
they
fuck
turned one
happened.
way, and then they were like, "Oh, this is blocked." They turned around, got blocked again. They turned, and they ended up back where they started. I was like, "What was the point in this?"
Yeah, what was
I
going
don't-
on?
I don't understand.
It was just chaos.
For
Just
sure.
Yeah,
absolute
I
chaos.
guess. I mean, they didn't gain anything, so I was I mean, I guess they're showing like how apocalyptic it was, but at the same point, I was like, well, they didn't really get anywhere. Why did they do all this looping around and weird shit? They could have gone more directly. They saw exactly where they had to go, and they're just looping around. It was weird.
Yeah.
Um,
They were fighting a lot of guards and stuff, and which I thought was very interesting. How at one point there was a fight earlier where she got grabbed, and then yeah, she got grabbed by a guard, and she needed help, and I was like, really? And like Loki just couldn't like grab her and fight her like solo before, and now she gets grabbed by some random dude, and she's like caught. It's like lovely, lovely stuff there, and then yeah, and then they're like about to make it to the giant ship, and then just like part of the moon crashes down and fucking like destroys it, and the music cues up, and it's fucking lovely, and everyone just stops fighting and is just staring at like
just walk away.
death in the face in a sense, and she just turns around utterly disappointed and hopeless, and I was like, this is fucking dope. I love it.
I loved it, yeah.
Yeah, that was the end of the episode, and it was great. And you had a Mindhunter-esque like ending, people like going through evidence and like tapes and stuff. And I was like, man, I love the TVA. I do. It's cool.
Yep, it was a very good episode.
Great episode. I give it a 9, baby.
I like the clock lady.
I gotta support you with that night. Yeah, Miss Minutes is pretty damn cool.
She's hilarious. She's
Doesn't-
like
it doesn't make sense.
self-aware.
Doesn't make sense, but I do like her character. But I also give it a 9. I did like this episode definitely better than the last one. It just had more stakes. It was more interesting. A lot of good reveals and stuff going on. So definitely,
Yeah, like
Yeah,
shit
some really
still
good
is like
momentum.
suspense is still building. You know, it's awesome. It's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah,
Tony?
even with the long episodes, yeah.
Tony, what do you got?
7.
So, kick him out. No, 9.
Kick 'em.
I
Why?
don't,
Why is 7?
I don't think this is better than the first 2 episodes.
Really?
Yeah. Why?
Yeah.
What do you think could have been improved on, or what would you like to see improved on in this episode to make it better?
I just didn't like the disaster. I was not invested. I didn't feel like their lives were at risk. Like it didn't feel apocalyptic enough. Like a lot of the setting like was just on the train. It's just kind of like this. I didn't feel like the stakes were very high until like the last, like 10 minutes when they're like, bro, we gotta sprint to this shit. And like, it's just like the scramble of everyone riding in that city and shit. Like that's the only time really in the episode where I felt like anything was just kind of like, like the stakes were high.
You know what's interesting is like the first 10 minutes and the last 10 minutes was the only time like meteors were following, and then they kind of
Yeah,
mentioned it. It's
exactly.
like something quakes or something. It was
Like,
just
like,
like,
how's the train not getting fucking smacked by debris but from that moon, you know?
yeah, it's a very good point. It makes you question it for sure.
Hmm.
Of like what
Fair
about
enough.
the stakes. So I understand where you're coming from with that,
We
but
didn't even get Sly's score.
he said
No,
9.
no,
He
I
said
said
9.
9.
He said
Yeah.
9.
Oh, you did? Okay, I thought we were
Yeah.
like rounding it. It's just
No,
like,
no,
all right,
no.
let's wrap it up.
Moose
No,
doesn't
no,
get
no.
opinions
Don't even
here.
give it a 7. We're
I
done.
enjoyed this episode more than the first two. I feel like the show is steadily building up momentum. My only concern with that is, at what point is it going to drop off? Is it going to lose steam, or is it going to follow through for the entire season?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I guess that gives us an 8.5 for a total Foundry score for this episode.
Works for it.
Not
I
too
like
bad.
it. That's a good review. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Cool. Well,
shit.
hey, if you guys enjoyed it, make sure to head down below to the comments there, boys and girls, and let us know your thoughts. Discuss a little bit of what you thought about the episode. If we missed anything, that's really important too. Let us know, guys, and we'll see you later on the next review for episode 4 of Loki. We're actually halfway done, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
God damn. All right. Well, we'll see you guys later.
Peace.
Boy.
Bye, gobble.